Hello, everybody. Thank you for stopping by this week to get your weekly fix. My name is Jacob. That's Zane, and we have a very fun episode of the podcast this week. Honestly, one of my favorite styles of the podcast that we get to do. Maybe one of the reasons why we really even started the podcast, because we are going to be doing some theorizing, some speculating, talking about rumors, talking about leaks, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But before we get into any of that, as always, Zane, how are you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. We had the first last kind of break before the gauntlet of Christmas this last weekend. So we got to chill, got to do some fun things, bake some cookies.
Ooh, what type of cookies?
Chelsea made chocolate chip cookies that were just spectacular. Nice. And then they made some Christmas tree sugar cookies today. And those were really good. So
I gotta say, sugar cookies, underrated. I know a lot of people love them, but man, a good sugar cookie always hits. But I'll let you get back into what you're talking about. This isn't a cookie podcast.
No, I agree.
But
I agree. But it could be because, man, I'm a sucker for a good sugar cookie. Even at Publix, everyone that I know kind of shuns the sprinkle cookies. But dude, those sprinkle sugar cookies, those are so much better than the chocolate chip, in my opinion. So
I'll go a step further. Even the Walmart ones with that little fake icing, they're really soft and really fluffy. I love those. I go crazy over those things. Oh, see that
honestly,
icing.
I would love those cookies if they didn't have the icing.
Gotcha.
It's a bit
maybe.
much.
I mean, the way they make those things, you could probably honestly scrape that icing
every time.
Right off.
I scrape it right off. I scrape it right off, and I have no icing, and I think it's significantly better.
Yeah, no, it is that time of the year. It's something I don't feel like it's been talked about a ton. Is Christmas is right around the corner. It's kind of,
it's right here.
It's gotten right up on us in a matter of no time. We really haven't had much really time to prepare for it. Just like every year, it just shows up. You know it's coming, but it just kind of surprises you every time. But no, I'm glad you're getting to experience some of the holiday festivities right now.
Oh yeah, getting to enjoy some. We got a friend coming in later this week, so pretty much this is the last of it before we prep and leave and go celebrate with the family. So very exciting time. I'm ready for it.
And some of that very cold weather they are experiencing right now.
Dude, I was like, I don't have clothes for 2-degree weather anymore. I'm in my house right now wearing a hoodie. I'm like, it's like 40 outside, and I'm like freezing to death.
Yeah, literally. So that's gonna be fun. I always do not pack correctly for when we travel back up north.
Can't do it.
I'm like, I'll just pack what I'm wearing now here in Florida, where it's 50 degrees, and I get there and I'm in shorts and a t-shirt still. But no, it's a lot of fun. Again, excited for Christmas. It's always my favorite time of the year. Just everything from just celebrating Jesus' birth to even the fun commercials and stuff like that you get to see on your streaming platforms. We have some fun stuff here in a couple days. We have Fallout Season 2 up on us, so we got Stranger Things. So much fun stuff right around this holiday season that's going to make it just that much more fun. But that is not what we're talking about today. We have a very exciting couple of topics to talk about. And let's talk about the more known quantity thing here, right? This past week, we had our very first look at Supergirl. You have the comic dawning in the background there. The comic that this movie is really looks to be pretty heavily based on, which I'm very excited about. I think you're very excited about. Zane, tell me, what did you think of that Supergirl teaser?
It's almost what I expected. I am very glad to see that it does look like it's being directed very closely alongside of what the comic was. It looks fun, it looks interesting, and it looks to have... I hope the director got the tone of Supergirl correct. It looks more party instead of depression, but the thing that got me the most excited, and one of the best things about Supergirl, is that Krypton series. And when we get to see the destruction of Krypton and kind of the weight that is burdened on her. Now, you can't really tell this story without that aspect of it. So I'm so excited that they showed that in this little teaser trailer. It's going to be forefront. We get to see Krypto, and we're definitely starting this story differently than the comic book. We're starting pre the comic book. We're not getting introduced to Ruth first. We're not getting to kind of see it from her perspective, and that's what worries me. I think a lot of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow works because we get to see it from the reader's perspective of Ruth and see Supergirl through Ruth's eyes, and I really hope that we don't lose the perspective
Mhm.
because we're getting told it from Supergirl's eyes. But it is really hard to introduce a character and show them from another person's point of view for their debut movie. So I don't know. I'm really excited about this movie. It looks like the action's incredible. Looks like the visuals are stunning, and it's just gonna be an awesome time, regardless of if they nail the uh, the content that it's written off of, the base content. Regardless of if they hit a home run, this is still going to be a fun movie from the looks of it, and I'm very ready for it. What did you think?
I'm the same thing. I'm very excited for it. I'm not really convinced that we're not going to get told it from maybe Ruth's point of view. This is a
Okay.
teaser trailer. It is our first time seeing Supergirl. It would be more weird to me if our first look at Supergirl in her own teaser was from another point of view. So it kind of makes sense for this teaser to get really
Okay.
people excited for Supergirl herself. And then I could definitely see when the movie starts, like, hey, this is from Ruth's perspective. We're going to start flowing through it a little bit. But again, it's not exactly based 100% on the comic. It's just heavily
Right.
inspired, which we do see throughout the teaser, right? Like, it looks like it kind of does follow the same story beats. We see Supergirl partying at a bar. She's on another planet where she can get drunk. We see Crypto, which is going to be the star of the show, I think, again for this movie. But there's some stuff to talk about with that, because there's I don't want to spoil the comic for people that haven't read it and potentially spoil the movie, because I think it is going to follow pretty closely. But there's a
Yeah.
lot of really big, heartfelt moments throughout that comic that I think people are really going to get into their feels about. And if you watch Guardians 3, James Gunn is willing to go there. So it's going to be a really fun time.
And so that's one of the things that I've heard the complaint about, is that this just looks like James Gunn redoing James Gunn stuff. And I'm like, it's not a James Gunn movie. He didn't
Yeah.
direct it. He didn't
Yep.
write it. He didn't cast it. Like, this is not James Gunn's creation. He
I think
obviously, as the creative director, he has some input.
that's
But
right. Yeah.
it's not his stuff. So I think that we can hold those judgments until we see the movie.
Yeah, no, I think more so just like his stamp of approval is
Yeah.
to let you know he's willing to go down some of these dark paths. He's willing
Oh, yeah.
to let these stories be told in this universe, which I'm really excited about. I think it's going to be really good. But overall, the visuals look pretty good for a teaser. I can't complain about
super
anything that I
happy.
saw. The looks of it, the music, great selection. James Gunn always does kind of kick it out of the park, or whoever decided on that music. I feel like anytime he's attached to a project, though, they have the music down pretty well to fit the tone of the movie. So excited about that. We did get a very, very tiny, very small glimpse of Jason Momoa as Lobo. What did you think about that? Are you happy that he's back? Because it's not really something we've talked about a ton.
Jason Momoa as Lobo fits significantly better than Aquaman ever did.
Yep.
Him getting cast as Aquaman was a tragedy, honestly,
Mhm.
in my opinion, because Aquaman is so cool, and his portrayal of Aquaman was so not what I want from an Aquaman. Now, I think it was fine. He's a great actor, but as far as like Lobo, that is his character. That
Mm.
is who he acts like in person. That is what he looks like. And I know we just got a tiny little glimpse, but for the people
Yeah.
who have brightened that up, added contrast, and really
Yep.
visualized it, dude, it looks super accurate. And you get to see the glow of his cigar there.
Yep.
I have no clue what his role is going to be in this movie, and I assume it's going to be like a pretty small role, considering he doesn't appear in any of the comics with Supergirl from this run. But
Yeah.
that's all we really need here. All we really need is a little tease, a little touch of it, a little scene to kind of see the vibe, get the menacing aspect, how powerful he is, and where he's at in this universe. And then let him go have some actual fun in somebody else's. I'm very excited about Jason Momoa, and I know he's like kind of like your perfect character, where it's like just like the gritty, mean,
Yeah.
not a goody good,
Well, I saw a thing on after the trailer got leaked, or the teaser, not leaked, after it got released. And people are like, I'm so happy that, like, and I don't condone smoking, so don't take it there. But they're like, I'm so happy that smoking a cigar is cool in every universe. And I was like, it kind of does fit. Like, it's such a perfect thing for him as a character. And I think this is one of those fan casts that, like, we have lots of fan casts. People always theorize and think that someone would be perfect for a role. This is one that I think from the very beginning of DCU kind of starting over again, that everyone's like, all right, can we please let Jason Momoa play Lobo? Like you said, you think Aquaman. I always think blonde hair. I think
Yeah.
charismatic. I don't really. He's in great shape. Don't get me
royal.
wrong, but I don't think of him as quite as big as Jason Momoa is. He's a little bit smaller of a guy usually, but very like demanding of his space. So I'm happy that we're getting a recast of Aquaman, and I think this is just such a good way to bring Jason Momoa back, kind of give him his opportunity again to shine in the DCU. Almost one of those things I kind of wish they would have done with Henry Cavill, right? I didn't necessarily want him to say as Superman, but I kind of wish he would have maybe gotten an opportunity to shine and maybe a better written opportunity in this superhero universe. But so far, I can't complain with what James Gunn has done so far.
Yeah, like kind of throw him in like a Zeus
Something,
role
yeah,
or something like very like prestigious and noble. I would agree with that. I like that comment. I hadn't even thought about recasting him as something else, honestly, because the fan base, dude, the Snyders, dude,
they're cutthroat, man.
They're
they are
such
cutthroat.
a terrible fan base.
But no, the Supergirl, it did kind of everything I wanted from a teaser standpoint. It gave us a little introduction to the characters. You did mention it did look a little more party aspect to it. I think that's definitely going to lead, maybe start off the movie a little bit, but I think we're going to get into those heavier tones of really what she's dealing with pretty early on. I thought Ruth, great casting. I thought she looked perfect. Her voice was really good for the little bit. She was like, how did it feel to lose everything in a day? And she was like, the gods weren't gracious enough to let it happen in a day. I was like, oh man, this is the type of stuff we want to see. This is the type of stuff we want to hear. Do you think we'll see Superman in this movie, even if it's just like, we do see him on the newspaper, we see Superman saves town from global nuclear meltdown or something like that. Do you think he gets a little cameo, kind of like Supergirl did in Superman?
I feel like it could start off with him.
Okay.
I feel like to kind of set her attitude towards what she's feeling to leave Earth to go for her birthday, I feel like there may be an interaction there to start the movie, take crypto, and then, I think of the meme for like those who know, those who don't know. Like it's like, oh,
Yeah.
But yes, I think he'll get that small appearance, and then I don't think we're gonna end with him. I'm not quite sure he's going to be included in Man of Tomorrow. Is it Man of Tomorrow?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's the running line for
running
it,
title. Yeah. I don't know if she's going to be in that title, so I think they may not sync her up just to, they're still writing that. They're still making sure that like just doing storyboards. So it would be really hard to kind of sync that up post, but I do definitely think that he could be at the front end. What do you think we're going to see it?
I think James Gunn has already shown that he really wants this universe to feel connected. I think with like the Peacemaker stuff where he literally reshot the ending of season 1 of Peacemaker, he wanted to show that, hey, this is the new... I still don't think that's the Justice League. We're going to actually call them the Justice Gang, just like they called themselves. I think he really is wanting this universe to feel very tight-knit. Kind of like early Marvel stuff, right? Early Marvel... we'd get a whole movie about one character, and then at the very end, someone would show up, and it'd get people excited for that next project. I could see that with this. Going a step further into this, I almost kind of want to say that I think the end of this movie might get us our first look at Batman, because that's the next big project. This is kind of what he just did with Supergirl in Superman. I would be very excited to see if maybe that's when we might not get to see who it is. It might literally just be someone in the mask. It might not even be the person that's actually going to play them. But I do think that we're going to see maybe potentially the next movie. Maybe it's not Batman. Maybe it's Aquaman, right? Maybe it is somebody else that's going to be part of this DC universe. That's kind of how I expect the cameos to go. I do expect to see Superman at the beginning. I think this might pick up right where Superman ended, right? With her picking up crypto, her going on that adventure. I could definitely see that taking place, but I think for the most part, it's going to be very much a Supergirl movie. We're going to get some other characters like Lobo, like we just talked about. We're going to see Krim, obviously the main villain of the movie. I'm kind of interested to see if maybe the reason they showed Lobo in the teaser is maybe that's one of the changes they make to the comic. What if he is the villain of the movie and we kind of get to see that little bit of a different take? There's a lot of things they could do, but that's as far as I see his cameos going. I think we'll see whatever the next big superhero for this universe will be at the very end.
Well, they already cast Krim, so I don't think they're going to switch it that much.
Well, no, I think he'll be in it. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if maybe they want a bigger, more well-known villain for this movie. You know what I mean? Like someone that makes people like, oh, I'm excited. Because if you didn't really watch this or read this comic run, would you really be excited about it being Krim as the villain? I don't think so. I think this is really his biggest shining point in DC. So I could see them maybe wanting a little bit more.
Else out of this?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm sure he's been mentioned in other comics, right? There's so many comics out there. But I think that could be a reason why maybe they did show Lobo in this teaser like they did. Because we really got the same amount of Krim as we did Lobo. We get 1 little second of them for their face. So I am definitely interested to see if they do change those points. But as far as cameos are concerned, I think that's what we'll get is at the end of this movie, we'll see what the next superhero they're wanting to bring into the DC universe is.
So 2 questions. Do you think we're going to see Bradley Cooper reprise his role as Superman's dad?
You know what? I'll go ahead and say yeah. I feel like that's something. It's going to be a small scene. I don't think it's going to be anything huge. And honestly, he seems like the type of actor that probably likes doing that quick little minute role of like, I'm Superman's dad. That's pretty cool. So I would say yeah. I think we might see him again.
Okay. Yeah, I was curious about that. And then the other, we don't know when Lanterns is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Lanterns could be anytime. So I think Lanterns may be a good post-credit scene. Do you think what do you think the chances of that is?
I personally don't think so, just because I think that Lanterns is Lanterns a known quantity. We know it's coming. We know who the actors are. It's literally, I think, almost wrapped filming if it hasn't already. Like I think we're getting to that point with that show.
Oh, it's definitely wrapped, right?
Yeah, so I think Lanterns is something that they don't really need to show here. They could definitely show it to connect the universe, but I think James Gunn is really going to want to show who the next big thing is going to be. Like I said, I hope it's Batman. I actually don't think it's going to be. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if we get to see, Aquaman or something like that. I do think it's going to be the next big DC superhero. Yeah, and we do have to start talking about, and we do need to kind of start talking about when's Darkseid going to show up, right? Like, when are we going to get a little bit of a Darkseid teaser? That's the biggest bad DC has, right?
Do you think he's ready to pull them out?
I don't know. I don't think he is. But I feel like you got to start sprinkling a little something in there, right? Do kind of like the Marvel did. Remember the first time we see Thanos at the end of Avengers, right? Like, he's just turning around in the chair. That's all you got. And then we went for how long without seeing him again? It was a while, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that might be something James Gunn starts to sprinkle in at some point. Maybe not with this project. Probably more so something they save for the next Superman movie. But something to start thinking about, because people are going to start wanting to know where the universe is heading, who is the one really pulling all the strings, and it's going to be cool to see Darkseid.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I'm not ready for Darkseid. I kind of want this. I want this to develop for a minute.
Let it simmer a little longer.
Let it simmer. Let's get a few years under our belt, and then once we have some connection to these characters, let's bring in somebody who's going to eliminate some people. Let's let these characters have their spotlight before we just bring in the best super villain ever in power scale, right?
Yeah.
Because where do you go after that? It's really hard. It's really hard to up the stakes after you went to the top.
So that brings up a good topic, right? Do you think Marvel has handled their big bads in a correct way? Because in my opinion, I don't think, Thanos gets 2 movies, right? I don't think some of the other ones, though, should have been done away with as quick as they were. This is where I think DCU has a chance to do something special, right? Let's give us a reason to hate Darkseid. Let's not bring him in for 1 movie. Let's not bring him in for 2 movies. Let's make him do some terrible stuff to the heroes that we love for a while, right? Let's let it build up. Let's let it get to that point. I think the most criminally underrated thing the MCU ever did was Ultron only getting 1 movie and nothing else really since then, right? There's no really remnants of Ultron, who is one of my favorite, villains. I think Ultron is so cool. We are both big fans of Age of Ultron here on this podcast, which isn't really a super popular opinion.
That's a hot
So
take.
I think some people would rather see a villain kind of stay around for a little longer. I don't like the day and age in which we live where we get a villain for one movie, they take him out, and then, all right, it's on to the next one. Let's let someone stay around for a little longer, which I think they're doing pretty well with Superman and Lex Luthor. He's already confirmed to be a big part of the next project. He's not just going to be rotting in jail for however long until it seems like a good time to pull him out. That's one of Superman's villains, right? Let's let him stay around. Let's let him be a part of the scene moving forward. And so that's why I'm thinking maybe it is a little bit okay to start sprinkling in Darkseid here and there just to kind of start the build-up.
That's a really good point. And apparently Lex Luthor had like a pretty big part in Peacemaker season 2 as well.
Yeah, which I didn't watch, and I know you didn't watch either. But yeah, so I think that's stuff that we need more of, right? You don't need to sign on for one movie. I mean, these people sign on for basically their life. Once you sign that Marvel or DC contract, anytime that phone rings, you got to be ready. So that's one thing I would like to see with the DCU is let's let these villains stick around a little longer. Let's build some chemistry. Let's build a relationship with them and not just the heroes, which is something I think they have the potential to do here.
No, I agree. And what's the best villain in Marvel in the MCU, in my opinion, and that's Loki.
Yeah, been around since the first Avengers.
Been around since first Thor.
Yeah, even
earlier. So his arc, his entire menacing thing that was just so well done. You really got to connect with him, hate him, and then ultimately love him. So I agree. I'm on board with Jacob's idea. Let's sprinkle in some Darkseid. Let's make him do some things.
Let's get that big bad going. I'm always for it, right? Anytime we can get the biggest villain on the screen, let's do it because it just makes it so much more fun, especially if they cast him well and he's one of those actors that really commands his presence on the screen, kind of takes it away from everybody else. That's what we want. We see that in other shows. Like, how awesome was it when we saw Invincible and Conquest show up? When Conquest is on the screen, even though we've only seen him for one episode, you're glued to what he's saying, right? And we've seen that with other stuff. I think Thanos did that really well. Yeah, anytime Darth Vader's on the screen, I'm locked in, right? So let's start showing some villains. Let's have a good time with it. But no, I'm excited for Supergirl and what we've gotten so far.
Take it to your grave. Dude, I'm so excited for Invincible.
I know, right? It's man, we got some good stuff coming up.
Yeah. Now talk about sprinkling in bad villains. Dude, we got some leaks today, right?
We did get some leaks today. So let's hop into that. Let's get off the Supergirl talk for a little bit. We got some crazy stuff coming out of Marvel. Some of it is, hearsay. Some of it is actually stuff that is pretty much confirmed because of the way Marvel reacted to it. So today, lots of rumors have been floating around for a while now. The first look at Avengers Doomsday was going to take place at Avatar, right? We were going to see it before the movie. It was going to be one of those pre-movie trailers that we got. Lo and behold, it gets leaked today, not to the surprise of anybody because this stuff always seems to get leaked, but it did leak in an interesting way because it wasn't really a trailer that just got dropped like we see a lot of the time with like a watermark on it, right? This was like a screening in another country at another movie theater. People are starting to get access to this trailer because whatever they're showing in these other countries are, it's being shown before there. I don't think these were like official screenings. By all accounts, these were leaks from employees of this movie theater. So that's interesting as well. But it sounds like Captain America is going to be back in full force. And when I say Captain America, I don't mean Sam Wilson. I mean Steve Rogers, Chris Evans. Now, Zane, I know you are not the biggest fan of this news. Let's hear it. Tell me a little bit about it. What do you like? What do you not like? I know I sent you over the teaser. The quality is really bad in all the leaks that I've seen. It's almost better if you just read what it says, like what they're trying to tell you on the screen, which is how I got my best idea of what the teaser actually is. But what did you think about it? We're getting Steve Rogers, Chris Evans back. By all accounts, he is going to play a major role in the next couple of Avengers movies. Let's hear it.
Yeah, we had a really good arc with Steve. We had an amazing run. He did a great job. And then Marvel seems to have no faith in their current characters. We've had amazing characters that could take the front run. We don't have to go grab Steve. We don't have to go ruin his story. And especially if he's the front runner of this, he's like the main guy. I think it just shows an incredible lack of storytelling from what you've established. Now, it may be really good. And I'm getting back with one of my favorite Marvel characters. I
Mhm.
love Captain America and I love Chris Evans as Captain America. Like that's all great stuff. But his story was told and it was good.
Yeah.
So it really kind of feels to me like a disservice to the story that they've tried to be telling. And it seems like an audible. This seems like a grasping at straws. This doesn't seem calculated. This doesn't seem well thought out or well planned. There's been no hints that this is what's going to happen. It just, to me, this is a mistake. Now, they may do a great thing, we may be watching this next December or maybe May, who knows?
Yep.
So and, I could be eating my words because they handled this beautifully and connected, and, he's shown holding his son or daughter in it, so we already have that connection, and it's like, do you just want to kill my heart? Like, do you really is that the goal? Like, you couldn't write anything else really motivating or connecting with the audience, so you had to pull on the previous decade of movies that you wrapped up. I, to me, that's kind of like you just should have planned better, just like what you were talking about, like James Gunn connecting the DCU and having all
Mhm.
those connections. We didn't do that, and now we're gonna go. When was this? 2019. We're coming
Yep.
back 6 years later without an inkling that he is in the timeline, that Doom is, wrecking or going after people who have caused incursions. We have no clue anything at all. And then the first teaser trailer, the first one is Steve. I don't know.
Yeah.
To me, it's bad taste.
Now, for those of you that haven't seen the teaser, basically it's I think it's like 30,
It's
35
like,
seconds
yeah,
long.
maybe.
Really, really short. Basically, what we get to see is we see Steve Rogers, Chris Evans show up. He pulls up on a motorcycle. You don't get to see his face. They keep his face hidden from the camera for a while. He walks up to what is their home, him and Peggy's home. And we see him open up, the door opens. We get to see a couple other clips. There's one where he's looking at his old Captain America uniform. He kind of lays it out on the table. And then it pans to black and it says Steve Rogers will return in Avengers Doomsday. After that Avengers Doomsday, Zane hinted at a little bit there, there is a countdown timer that is taking place. And the countdown timer, I believe, is set for May 29th of 2026, which this would obviously, if the countdown is kind of, leaking, teasing a little bit at the new release date for Avengers Doomsday, this will be moving it up, what, 2, 3 months? I forget what the
That
official...
It's supposed to be in December. It would be
Oh,
moving
so
it up 7 months.
7 months, which I don't believe they're going to do that. I think at Marvel, if anything, they're going to want to take all the time they can to make sure that this movie is what it needs to be. But that is the most part what the teaser is, right? We don't really have a whole lot of context. There's a lot of people saying it was fake. There's a lot of people saying, oh, this is AI, la-di-da-di-da. But there's also a lot of very reputable people in the community that have said, no, this is probably what it was going to be. A lot of them hadn't seen it yet, but a lot of people are like, this is what we were told was going to happen. And I think the most, truth-telling aspect of this was, if this was fake, Marvel would not have started coming out and DMCAing these Twitter accounts, banning people, taking it down. I think that in and of itself tells you that there was some truth to what this teaser was showing, to what these leaks were that were coming out. Because if it was fake, they wouldn't do anything. They wouldn't have any grounds to do it. So
Right.
clearly something was actually leaked, which is going to happen. We always know this. We expect this with just about any big project that comes out. You're gonna find leaks, especially when it's something like Marvel, probably the biggest IP out there. So I'm not surprised it leaked, but yeah, I'm interested to see where the story goes with bringing him back. It does feel like a nostalgia pull, right? They have lost a lot of fans. How do you get fans back? We just saw it with Deadpool and Wolverine. We kind of saw it with Spider-Man, even though Spider-Man is such a household name, he was going to get his people to show up anyway. But you bring back Hugh Jackman and people are like, all right, I'm back, right? I have friends that are Marvel fans, but that have not liked this last run of the MCU movies. They just haven't. But you know how excited they were to go see Deadpool and Wolverine because Hugh Jackman was back? They were stoked. I've already seen that similar, thing on social media. There are people like, you know what? I don't care. Chris Evans is back, so I'm back. So obviously Marvel knows what they're doing. They know how to get people back into the movie theater. But for us true fans, it does feel a little bit like a stab in the back, kind of similar to
Yeah.
how a lot of people felt with bringing Robert Downey Jr. back as Doctor Doom. Some people are still pretty bitter about that. Some people really don't like it. And I think this is more telling of potentially what Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom is gonna be. A lot of people were like, oh, it better not be Iron Man. It better not be Tony Stark. Some of these leaks are starting to make it seem like it is definitely gonna be in some form or fashion. Now,
How in the
what
world
is
would it
your take
not
on
be?
that?
It's got to be now.
Yeah,
We're bringing back Steve Rogers and Captain
yeah,
America, and we got our big three, right? So what puts butts in seats? Apparently the big three, right? We
yeah.
got we got Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America back on the screen. And I kind of think of them fighting Thanos, when they kind of suit
Ah,
up, and that
yep,
final fight when it's just those three going at the biggest bad before everyone else comes back in, before it, like, that's the best moment in the MCU, and like fight scene, like hype scene, like so good. Captain America grabs that hammer, and the payoff was so spectacular.
yeah,
Like, but we could have had that with others. We could have had that with if you would have gave Shang-Chi the proper build up, if you would have given us another Black Panther, like if you would have
yep.
continued his story, if you would have even walked with Namor, like Namor could we could have had this. We could have just like given us Victor Von Doom, given us the Fantastic Four. We have them. Like
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be Robert Downey Jr. versus Captain America. It could have been the Fantastic Four with all these other amazing characters that we have. So that, to me, that's like, are we really gonna sideline like our actual characters that we've been developing over the past few years slightly? They could have developed them more, but they have been developing them more than Captain America and Victor Von Doom, which apparently is just Iron Man. I don't know.
They're
Um,
really taking Civil War to the next level here.
yeah, they're like, hey, Civil War was great. Top 10
Yep, yep.
MCU film. Avengers Endgame was great. Let's just smash them
Put them
together.
together. But
And
no,
let's do it with the Russos.
well, so talking about the Russos, I think I sent you another post that one of the major things that got them excited to come back and direct Avengers Doomsday, because by all accounts, Endgame was supposed to be it for them. They had said it many times. They were done with Marvel. That was their last big hoorah. Apparently, they got the word that they were going to be able to bring back Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, and they said, you know what, sign us up. We'll come back and do it. The
Oh,
major storyline that they are excited to explore is we do see at the end of Endgame, Steve Rogers goes off on his own little path and doesn't really necessarily return the Infinity Stones the way he should have. It was supposed to be a quick, done thing. He was supposed to return them and come right back. Well, we don't get to see that. What do we see? We see old man Steve Rogers come back because on his adventure to returning all the Infinity Stones, he stops and lives his life out with Peggy, which beautiful story writing, awesome.
amazing.
Biggest thing about that, though, is one of the biggest things the MCU has been about recently is incursions. Apparently, Doctor Doom is trying to go after all the people that have caused these large incursions. The other thing you talked about a little bit earlier was Steve Rogers holding his son or his daughter. That hasn't been confirmed yet, but there seems to be a very large sense of fatherhood in this upcoming Avengers movie, right? So we have Steve Rogers with his baby. Thor has his daughter now. And apparently, Victor Von Doom, Doctor Doom, is not happy because he's seeing all these other people with their kids and his has died. So he is going after some of these biggest incursion causers and trying to bring them the pain that he has experienced, which that would be the path into bringing Chris Evans back into, the Avengers spotlight. With that storyline in mind, do you feel a little bit better about it? Because I know a lot of people have wanted to see what really happened when he went back in time. That's been something that people are like, let's get a show about it. Let's get a movie about it. Let's bring back Captain America for his own movie showing him return these Infinity Stones. Now, essentially, it seems like it is being ushered in with Doomsday. Does that make you feel a little better about it, or are you still a little bitter?
Actually makes me feel worse. And one
Okay.
of that is time management. We always talk about what's the pacing of the movie? How's the storytelling?
Mm,
Does it flow? Did the characters get enough time? And when you look at that and you're like, okay, we're gonna be spending time with Steve Rogers to tell how he returned 6 Infinity Stones, and then Doom with this, and then Thor with this. We have 3 other teams that need
Yep.
screen time, that need development. We got to have an entire like Loki storyline. We need to have this Victor Von Doom storyline because we don't even know who he is. And
Yep.
so if we have this other like storyline where Steve is the focus, I don't want Steve the focus. I want Victor Von Doom to be the focus. I want that to be like the center point. And then with our new characters, I want to see how we're going to take down this immense threat with this crazy cosmic power that, like, I don't know. It to me it shows we're going to have some bad balance here. And I know the Russos love to split up their teams. That's how they kind of
Yep.
deal with this. They almost tell completely separate stories in order to get the amount of screen time for each that they need. Is that really what we wanted here? Is that, I don't know, is it going to flow? It just really makes me nervous that the Russos probably don't like this new series of characters, and I
Mhm.
think they're going to kind of get shoveled to the wayside.
Well, let's talk about the teams, right? Because that's another big talking point. I think a lot of people really don't even know who the teams are if they haven't been keeping up with Marvel at the level. And honestly, let's blame Marvel a little bit for that too, because they haven't given people a reason to, right? We've talked so much about we love the big 3. Why do we love them? Well, because we got a lot of movies with them and we built a relationship with them. You mentioned Shang-Chi. We got one Shang-Chi movie and that's it. Black Panther. We haven't had a new Black Panther literally at all. Like the whole storyline there is Shuri's even going to step down as Black Panther. She's not even going to stay it. So the movie we got has nothing to do with Marvel moving forward really for that character. So the teams we got the new Avengers, which is the Thunderbolts. We have Sam Wilson's Avengers, right? We have Fantastic Four, and it seems to be the team everybody is forgetting about is making their MCU appearance is the X-Men, right? So that's 4 huge teams. Huge teams.
5, because we got Loki.
Yeah, and whatever Loki's Time Variance Authority team is, right? We got 5 teams right there. And we're going to bring back another team, essentially, with the big 3. Now, Thor is probably going to fit into Sam Wilson's team somehow.
Yeah.
I don't really want him to not be the lead of a team, though. He is the most experienced Avenger left. He should be the guy leading his own team. Now, how's that ever really been Thor's thing? Not really. He kind of just shows up, does his thing, and, likes to just be a part of it. But it almost feels like if you backseat him, why are we putting him, Robert Downey Jr., and Chris Evans back in the front seat, right? It just doesn't feel right at that point. So there's a lot they have to do. We've talked about it with every Marvel movie that has come out in the last, 3 years. How are they going to start developing the story? We've known Doctor Doom is coming for a while, and we have no idea about him. Goes back to what I was saying about the DCU and sprinkling in some Darkseid. Marvel should have sprinkled in some Doctor Doom. At least with Thanos, we got a couple of end-credit scenes. We saw him turn around in a chair. Like, we had him mentioned.
Well, and we had the entire Infinity Saga mentioned, right? Like,
yeah.
Every movie had something to do with an
the stones.
Infinity Stone or something. Yep. And that was the tying thread. And even if you didn't know it was an Infinity Stone, it was. And that was kind of the point. They all had this interweaving touch of these Infinity Stones where they could get pulled in. We ain't got none of that.
Well, think about, Gamora and Nebula. They were daughters of Thanos. They literally would say that. Like, we have never heard the words Doctor Doom mentioned in a single MCU project. Not a single time. Like, literally never even been spoken of. All we have seen
Latvia twice in 2 projects.
And that's like a big part of Doctor Doom is Latvia, right?
Is Moon Knight? Which isn't in this.
When we saw the castle of Doctor Doom,
right. Well, it was on the boxes in the truck.
But it said like Von Doom Industries or something like that. Yeah.
And then we have freaking the Fantastic Four, which we got the back of a cloak.
Yep, literally nothing. They didn't even say his name. Invisible Woman doesn't walk around a corner and say Doctor Doom. No, she just sees him, and that's the end of it, right? So they have so much heavy lifting to do. And this puts another strain on that, right? Because as much as they probably want to think they can just throw Chris Evans back in there and people will be okay with it, there will be fans that are okay with it. But even the large majority of fans that are excited to see him back are going to want to know why he's back, right?
Yeah.
So this really throws a loop. A couple other teasers that we got, not really teasers today, leaks that we got. This was the first teaser. There's supposed to be 3 more teasers that come out. The second one is supposed to be focused on Thor, who we've mentioned quite a bit already in the podcast. This teaser, from all the leaks that I have seen, we haven't actually seen the teaser, but like the breakdown of what it's supposed to be is Thor is in the woods praying to Odin that he makes it back from this battle that he is about to go on. Kind of makes sense because he wants to get back to his daughter. I feel like that's a pretty Thor thing to do at this stage in his life. He probably knows he's not going to come back from a battle with how close he's come to death in the past at this point. So makes sense for him to start to have that little bit of a fear of dying in his mind. We have a Doctor Doom teaser that is supposed to show what Doctor Doom's point of view of the universe is, why he's showing up and why he's doing what he's doing. And then the last teaser, the fourth teaser that we're supposed to get, is supposed to just be like a movie teaser. It should show all the groups. It should kind of just get us an idea of where people are and what's being said and stuff like that. So there's still a lot of leaks and teasers to come. This is just the first one that dropped pretty heavily today, was the talk of the town for a couple of hours until Marvel started banning people that were talking a little bit too much. But it's pretty exciting stuff. We're getting back into that time of, you know, Marvel hype building back up, which sometimes it's just as much fun to talk about it as it is to watch these movies just because it's such a big thing.
Yeah, just like we mentioned last week, like, dude, this is
Love
what Jacob thrives on, man. Is the
Love
hype,
it.
the hype.
Yep, yeah. It's
yeah.
at an all-time high right now.
Yeah, man. The industry insider, I really didn't believe any of this was true or anything that was going on until Daniel RPK, which has been the most reliable scoopster in all of the industry for Marvel news, confirmed it. Which I was actually kind of blown away that he went out and did that when Marvel itself hadn't really. I mean,
Mhm.
I guess he said that because they were confirming by taking it down, but I was
Yeah.
still like, man, that's kind of bold to release all the information immediately.
Well, and there's so many rumors still going around, right? There's
Wild.
some people that think Marvel asked him to do that, so that this is all just a big bluff. But again, it goes back to the fact that they were actually
Okay.
taking it down. I don't think they would be allowed to take down fake news. I don't know the rules and regulations of all that stuff, but it just doesn't seem right to me. I've seen a lot of other pretty reputable. I know a lot of people. Some people like My Time to Shine. He hits every once in a while. He was reporting the same stuff that Daniel RPK was reporting.
Yeah.
So when you have two of the biggest, insiders really leaking that stuff, it says a lot. And then I know there were a lot of people that are partnered with Marvel that usually get like the early test screenings and stuff. They get to interview people. They came out and said that they weren't allowed to speak on what was being leaked because they're partnered with Marvel. They're not allowed to do that stuff. So
Which is kind of wild.
there's just so much stuff.
We just like speculated all about it. We're partnered with Marvel,
Yeah, we're allowed to do it. Marvel hasn't paid us a penny, but hey, if you want to, I can get you in touch with the right people for that.
Quick.
Yes, but I think all those things are kind of just tells that there has to be some truth to this stuff, whether it all is true or not. Something was leaked today that is probably real. And it sounds like the big one is the Chris Evans thing, because I still have not heard someone actually come out and say it's not real. And like you said, all the major ones were reporting that, yeah, this is what we weren't allowed to talk about for a while. So it's interesting moving forward. Go ahead.
The other big piece of this is Chris Evans is currently jacked out of his mind. He's back in tip-top shape.
Yeah, he's back in Captain America form.
Somebody posted a picture of him a few months ago. It was like, yeah, Chris Evans is coming in this movie because he was
because those guys usually, when they're done with this stuff, it's a lot of strain on their body. They're like happy to not have to be doing it. So if he's going through this again, it's probably pretty telling. The big teaser part I kind of want to talk about lastly before we're done with this topic is you mentioned, are they moving the movie up? Do you actually think they're going to move it to a May release, or do you think it's going to stay where it is? If you think it's going to stay, what do you think this countdown timer is for?
I think it's moving up. I think they're swapping Spider-Man. I think they're scared of Dune. I think Dune has that December lockdown. They have this May release. It finished filming before Spider-Man.
Mm.
So I I just feel like the timeline, these movies don't take that long to make. Like they've had the film in post-production for I think it's like 4 months now. So you have another 5 months to get this thing polished. They should be able to do that. And I know it's going to be visual effects heavy, but with how much like they've already been doing, I think they're ready. I think we're moving the movie up.
Okay.
And so I think Spider-Man will take that December slot.
Okay. I wouldn't be too shocked if they do that because, again, all reports is Spider-Man's not supposed to be a big part of this movie. So
Yeah.
it almost makes more sense to let him come after the fact to give us a reason as to why he's really not a big part of it. Because if you have him right before this movie comes out, people are going to be like, well, where's Spider-Man? Like, well, he's one of the biggest superheroes there is. So I think it kind of does make sense to move him back. People are still going to ask that question. So I hope it gets answered in some way in the movie, right? Say he's doing this or there's a reason why he's like something. I just don't think you sideline a character like that and not have a good reason for it. So hopefully we do get it. I'm kind of on the fence 50-50 with it moving forward. It does seem very interesting for them to move up a movie like that to this scale, especially after already putting a release date on it. That's kind of interesting. And the other, but I don't know what the countdown timer could be.
Yeah, what
My
else could it
theory
be?
with the countdown timer is that's going to be when it gets officially announced that it is Tony Stark as Doctor Doom. That's the only thing I could think that they're doing, because I did see someone post a picture about in the MCU, Tony Stark's birthday is the day of the countdown timer. So that's the only thing I could see it being anything else of, because what other significance would it have, right? It's either a new movie release date or it's someone's birthday. That's the only two things I can think of.
Somebody said that's when the first casting was done.
It is.
And so it could be a second casting call to kind of confirm all the other characters.
Chris Evans. Yeah.
Chris Evans, if we have any other characters that are going to show up, which we know they're going to be. I can't think of them offhand. But one of the things happened is IMDb removed the release date from their website. So now instead of saying December, I think it was like 2019 or something, now it says 2026. That's all it says.
Okay.
So
yeah, so pretty good opportunity, pretty good chance it moves up.
And like you said, it's wild for them to do that for something this big, because is. It's a massive project, and there's going to be a lot of visual effects. There's going to be a lot of editing. How are they going to make this movie flow? The script wasn't done when they were filming this.
Yeah.
Which makes me so much like, no, that's not how you do movies. Stop. It's like, give me a brain aneurysm. So, I don't know. I'm just, there's so much confusion about this. Why are we getting 4 trailers 4 weeks in a row that I have to put behind a paywall of a $17 movie ticket? That's also kind of like, what are you doing?
This is one of those moments that I'm very... Well, and this is one of those moments we're very thankful for leakers, right? Because
thank you guys.
It'll come out right the same day. Like I'll get to watch the same. I'll get to watch the same thing on my couch. It might only stay up for a couple of hours, but I'm pretty quick to screen record these teaser trailers, so I have them all.
I was like, oh, dude, thank you, Jacob.
Yeah, I keep up with all. I joke all the time that my phone has hundreds of notifications going on at a time, because it really does. And one of those reasons is because I have all of these Twitter accounts notifications on. So when this stuff starts dropping, I can get this stuff like saved to my phone, so I have it for later. So
that's really cool. Yeah, that's a good thing you do.
They might try to take it down, but I will always have it. So it's going to be a fun stuff.
Photo reel.
Oh yeah, only for us. Like no one else could see it, because I'm not posting it. I'm not getting us banned. Yeah, I'm not getting us banned. But at least we'll have it to talk about. So
that's right.
It's fun to talk about. I love the theorizing and all this stuff. It's a big day with Marvel stuff, right? Anytime these things start coming out, and especially when Marvel starts taking action against it, it's pretty telling of what's happening. So I'm excited for it. I'm still excited for it. This hasn't changed my excitement level. If anything, I'm more interested now, because there's something here that they're going to have to make work. So more so now, I'm like, I'm not just excited to go see this movie because it's Avengers. It's the next big Marvel thing. I want to see if they can pull it off. Like, this is a tall task. if there's anyone that can do it, it is these guys. Like, this is what they get paid the big bucks for. They've done a great job in the past. Some people wouldn't say they've done the greatest job with this last run, this last phase of the MCU, but we've enjoyed it nonetheless. So I'm really interested to see if they can pull off something to this scale with these big guys returning.
I'll enjoy it. I'll have a good time. I might have like an abundance of criticism to throw at it, but I'll still enjoy it. I'm gonna watch it.
Well, I mean, when Doctor Doom shows up and he's trying to kill Steve's daughter, and we see Steve put his hand out and Mjolnir comes flying through the building, we'll all be screaming, right? Like, it's all going to happen. So it'll be fun. I'm excited to see really what happens here. Last question for you. Do you hope that this is Tony Stark as Doctor Doom, whether it's the Tony Stark we know and love, and he gets brought back somehow? Maybe someone gets a hold of his body. Maybe we see some sort of Ultron thing where they take his brain and his memory and his mind and put it into something else, but they also put a little twist into it? Or do you hope it is actually Victor Von Doom, Doctor Doom, and his own storyline?
I hope it's Victor. And I don't understand why it'd be Tony. They said he's the only person who could play Victor Von Doom, not Iron Man, at the release, and I know they could have just been doing that to do it. But I really hope it's not Tony Stark.
How would you feel if it is Tony Stark, another multiversal version of Tony Stark, and we get our Tony Stark back at the same time? Would that change your opinion on it any? Maybe we get to see an Iron Man Doctor Doom showdown. This is the stuff you got to talk about, though, with Marvel, because anything is possible. It's all on the table. So
no. I would rather I'd rather have a Tom Cruise bust from another dimension, another universe come in and be like, I'm the '90s Iron Man.
Literally. I did see a leak today, or a rumor, that some people think that the fourth teaser is not going to be the entire movie's teaser. That's just what Marvel has been saying. They think that's going to be the Iron Man teaser. So take what you will with that information. Again, this is all rumored stuff at this point. Nothing with that was leaked. That's just what a lot of people are speculating now at this point, because it kind of makes sense. Well, if it kind of makes sense though, right? We get the Captain America teaser, we get the Thor teaser, you get the Iron Man teaser.
Well, couldn't we get like
kind of makes sense
X-Man teaser? Like, it would be cool. It would be cool to get like a Scott, like a,
We just talked about Marvel already forgot those characters exist. Like they are already
Give me
they're background characters. They're background characters now, right?
So what's so funny is if they don't even appear in the movie. Like it was all just, dude. It was all just like a play.
Or like they rewrote it. That's why the script wasn't finished.
Direct ever.
Yeah, that would be crazy. That would actually be insane.
You guys don't actually fit in this movie.
It's the end credit scene. Like that's what the X-Men is, just an end credit scene. That would be them wild.
Getting killed off so that they can reboot it.
Literally, Hey, it's stuff you honestly got to consider with Marvel, because, like I said, all cards are on the table when it comes to them, right?
Yeah. Marvel too.
Dude, I wonder if they've just been like opening packs of trading cards, and like they're like, all right, whichever character I pull out of this, he's gonna be a main character in Doomsday. Like, all right, oh man, got Captain America. I guess you gotta bring back Chris. So,
they forgot they had Sam.
Yeah, literally. I mean, yeah, that's gonna be the first joke of the movie. Is he's gonna come back and he's gonna call him the Falcon or something, and he's gonna be like, man, are you serious? I'm gonna need that
shield back.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, fun stuff. It's always fun speculating with Marvel. They're interesting these days, right? Like, you really don't know what you're getting anymore. It used to be every movie you were going to enjoy. It was going to be a fun ride. Now we're just holding on by the seat of our pants, praying that it is good, not even that it's watchable. Like, it's fun stuff. But Zay, do you have any other comments on this Marvel news?
Oh no, I'm gonna hold. I can't look like a complete fool. I've already given too much criticism. It's going to come out. It's going to be spectacular. This wasn't even the teaser trailer. This was all a misdirect.
Dude, it honestly could be. Like, there's so much stuff that does say it's real, but like, dude, in the day and age in which we live, it's just so hard to actually tell like what's going to be real and what's not with the leaks and stuff. So
Yeah, and I sent you that screenshot of somebody who was like, "This is actually from the movie Gifted."
Yeah.
Like, is it? I haven't watched it.
I don't know either. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But then you have Marvel literally banning these accounts posting this same teaser. So I don't know. Does Marvel own the movie Gifted? Maybe they were
I don't
bringing
know.
it down for something else. Like maybe it wasn't had nothing to do with leaks. It was just like,
Defamation.
yeah, like something, right? But yep. But guys, that is our take on these Marvel leaks. That is our take on the Supergirl teaser. That's really all we had for this week's episode. Lots of fun stuff to talk about. I'm excited for both. I think Zane is also excited for both. We're going to be watching. We're going to be reviewing both of them either way, whether they're the best movie ever or the worst movie ever. Zane, I'll put you on a spot right now. Which one's going to rate higher for you, Supergirl or Avengers Doomsday?
Oh man, I'm gonna say Supergirl.
Okay, Supergirl's going to get a higher rating. I'm going to go Doomsday. Simply for the fact they're going to do stuff that just I think is awesome. Like, I'm going to get people being slammed through buildings. Yeah, like, there's going to be, like, just utter chaos. And that's the kind of the stuff I look for in some of these types of movies. Like, I just want to see, like, raw action. Especially with Supergirl, if it is kind of based on the comic. There's a lot of, like... There's great action in it, don't get me wrong, but it does go a little bit more like deeper than surface level. I'm all for the surface level action. Like, just give me that. I don't care about the repercussions or anything.
I don't care if they have feelings.
No, just like let's hit each other and let's blow stuff up. That's all I'm looking for. And I think Doomsday is going to have a little bit more of that than Supergirl, but that's my prediction there. Guys, if you enjoyed this episode of us theorizing and just trying to figure out what the heck is going on with Marvel, make sure to like it. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, share it with your friends. Let us know down in the comment section below what you think about Supergirl teaser trailer and these Marvel leaks. I'm all for it. I love hearing everyone's opinion on this stuff because I think everyone's kind of got something to say because you really could go any which direction with this at this point. So, Zane, do you got anything else before we close this one out?
I'm good, man. Let us know.
All right.
Let us know what y'all think.
Let us know. Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Weekly Fix, and we will catch you in the next one.